everybody. So this is my first video in a very long time. I don't have a stand anymore, so I have to hold it, so if it's moving, it's because my hands are moving. Anyways, I thought I would do a story time. Stop looking at me. My kids, of course. I would like to do... You still my kid? Even if you ain't a child, you still my child. Anyways, that was my 18-year-old. Let me be more specific for you. I wanted to do a story time. And it's going to be... I'm not going to like try to make it long or anything like that. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shamika. I live in North Carolina. I'm in the country with the horses and the cows. I have 2 children. One is 18, one is 5. I'm pretty boring for the most part, even though I'm the only one who thinks so. But I enjoy making TikToks. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's Shamika Pear 8. I don't know how else to say it besides that. It's just Shamika Pear 8. But we'll get into this video. So I was trying to think of like what story I wanted to tell you all. I couldn't really like think of one. So I finally thought of one, and this was, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm drinking ginger ale.
That's not food.
Right here. What, you think it's those chips?
No. I mean, you just have hiccups.
Anywho, you know you can't make a video with children
Don't start.
and they be quiet. Like,
Don't start.
never. Okay, so the first time I got into a fight with a boy. What'd you say?
I said, oh Lord.
Anywho, so growing up, I was always the quiet child. Like, I just mind my business. I was quiet. I didn't bother anybody. I didn't talk. I just stayed to myself. But for some reason, people gravitated to me. Like, I don't know, something about me that made people gravitate towards me. So I had a lot of friends. So I got pregnant in 8th grade with my 18-year-old. So they didn't want a pregnant 8th grader. So they basically kicked me out. So I went to our local community college to get my high school diploma because they do adult education. So while being there, you know, I'm getting my stuff done because, first of all, I'm so grateful for my mother. She told me when we found out I was pregnant, because, you know, I was out there being grown and I shouldn't have been at 15. She said, you're going to get a job and you're going to go to school. She was like, you're going to take care of responsibilities. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, she made me the woman I am today, and I will always be grateful. But so I went there and I was like quiet, but everybody just, like I said, gravitated towards me. But there was like these 2 boys that always bothered me and picked at me and just harassed me. And I would never say anything. But this particular day, I don't know if I didn't get enough sleep because my oldest was a baby. I really don't know what happened that day. But one of them threw a pine cone at me and it hit me. And it's not funny, but it's funny. I snapped. And I went over and I pushed him and I said, don't throw stuff at me. And I was going to walk away. But I guess the other guy was egging him on, like, to retaliate. So he took me by my shirt. He grabbed both sides of my shirt and he jacked me up against the, whatever you call it, the brick wall. And I don't know what happened, but I blacked out. Like, that's why I don't fight, because I black out and I don't remember what I did. But I blacked out for a second. And when I came to, his head was like, his hair was in my hand and I was just going in on his face. And then I start to cry. I start to cry. Even though I won the fight, I still cried because I don't like hurting people. And his face was bloody and I felt like the most terrible human being in the world, especially since I didn't know what I was doing and I couldn't stop myself. So everybody was trying to pull us apart. And they're like, why are you crying? You won. You did a 2-piece combo, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, because I'm going to get in trouble. Like, I'm 16 and I'm scared. I'm like, my mama's going to whoop me. Like, I was like so upset. So we go to the office and he's like, I'm gonna press charges. But they said he couldn't press charges because he started it. And then he left mad. And then my the principal, whatever you call, I don't know, remember what they were called at the college, but she was just like, you're not in trouble. This is your first time. We heard the story, blah, blah, blah. And nobody at the school liked this boy. Nobody, no teachers, no staff, nobody. So, and she was like, I'm glad you did it. And I was like, okay. So now I go back to class, still crying because I'm like, my mom's going to kill me. I just knew it. So I go back to class and my teacher, he calmed me down and he said, I'll pay you $20 to do it again. Because he really didn't like this boy would interrupt his class. He would like be just very disruptive, very disrespectful. So like nobody liked him at all. And then that made me laugh. So I laughed, but he was like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, no, I can't do it again. So I get home because they called my mom or whatever. And I mean, I didn't get in any trouble. I didn't get suspended or anything. So I get home and my mom was like, you got in a fight today? I'm like, yeah. She said, you okay? I said, yeah. She said, did you win? I said, yeah. She said, did he start it? I said, yeah. She said, well, all right. And I'm like, that's it? Like, I really expected so much more, but she was cool. And then I was just like, so the next day I go to school and these other boys decided, because I, fought that one boy, that they were going to fight me because, oh, you can't go around just beating up boys. So it was like every day for weeks, a new boy would come to try to fight me. And then we would end up being friends. So I had a lot of guy friends. I was very tomboyish. I mean, I don't think I am now. Okay, a little bit. But not as much as I was then. I was like really rough and tough and could hang with the boys. And I used to fight a lot. But every boy that would try to fight me, we would fight, I would win, and then we would be friends. Not saying I can beat every boy in the world, but I beat all them boys. And then the boy that I originally fought, he dropped out of school because everybody kept picking on him. So push forward, like, God, 10 years or so, I work at a convenience store, a gas station, whatever you want to call it. The same boy I got in a fight with came into the gas station and I didn't know what was going to happen. All I could think of was, oh my God, he's going to remember. He's going to try to fight me. I'm going to get fired, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, you remember me? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I ain't the one who started that fight. And I'm like, yes, you were. Nah, I won't. It was whatever the other boy name was. He was the one that threw the pine cone. I'm like, whatever, man. That was years ago. He was like, you got me, though. And I'm like, yeah. And then he left. But I don't condone violence at all. But I do condone taking care of yourself and not letting someone bully you or put their hands on you or disrespect you. As long as you're taking care of yourself and protecting yourself, do what you gotta do. That's what I say. But that was the first time I got into a fight with a boy. And I guess I should say a couple boys. Because after that, like, fighting boys, and then I used to bench press boys, and I used to pick boys up, and I used to put boys on my shoulder. I think that's why I have a bad back today, because of all that being rough and tough. But I don't know. But yeah, that's it. So this was a story time of the first time I got in a fight with a boy. And I hope y'all enjoyed. Bye.